So no, I had no entrepreneurs in my family. I'm the freak of the family, and that I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. Everybody else held normal jobs. As a matter of fact, I was sort of the joke in the family was that I worked for the CIA because it's all a cover up. Like the things I did were so esoteric that nobody really understood them, and they decided it was a cover up for my CIA operative position. But yeah, so I started out in the hedge fund industry, which, back in the day, because as you can tell, if anybody looks at the video, I've got gray hair and I'm an older guy, I'm pushing 60. So I quote unquote retired at age 35, which was long, long ago. Before that was a popular topic. It just seemed, obvious to me. I remember when I was in college and I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I wasn't, it didn't come from wealth, came from normal middle-class upbringing. And I just felt like, I'd made so many of my life decisions from the right side of the menu of life, where I'm always having to check the price of everything, and I'm always having to make concessions because I didn't have the money and couldn't do the things during summer break from college that my friends did because I didn't have the money they did. I had to work to pay my way through school and all these things. And I just wanted financial freedom. I was tired of fighting money. And so I did this crazy idea. I thought, well, I can just design my life to result in financial freedom. And so I did, and I was financially independent at age 35. So it took me about 12 years once I really got down to it. And I think you can do it less. I think it takes anywhere from 7 to 15 years, depending on where a person starts and what level they define as freedom for them. And that's how I teach it. I teach it, it takes about 7 to 15 years if you're serious and you really design and you work toward it methodically. So I had a hedge fund business because in my mind, if you're going to become financially independent, you have to develop a certain amount of investment expertise. And so I figured I may as well get paid for it. And so I went into the investment management business as a hedge fund manager. Did that until 97, sold the business in 97, and then started Financial Mentor, which is the business I have today. So that's financialmentor.com, and it's a pure education business. I had this crazy idea back then. You got to understand, again, when I did hedge funds, they weren't hedge funds, right? They were private placement partnerships. And they were using the old oil and gas partnership structures, and there was nothing sexy about them at all. Later on, the moniker of hedge funds was adopted. Well, same thing. When I started out in the internet, it wasn't a big deal at all. It was 97. I built the site Financial Mentor. That's how I got the URL financialmentor.com, which is be impossible to get today. And I was one of the only financial coaches on the internet. I was the first financial coach on the internet. If you did a search back then, there was no Google, it was Alta Vista, right? If you searched on Alta Vista, it would return 9 returns for the term financial coach, which has millions of returns now. Yeah. And 8 of the 9 were financial planners who were repositioning themselves as financial coaches, right? They were just trying to retitle themselves. And I was the only legitimate, authentic financial coach, literally the pioneer of the industry. And that's kind of my hallmark. I've always done stuff like that. I just get these crazy ideas and I do them. My crazy idea was I wanted to separate financial education from investment advice. Investment product sales, separate financial education from investment product sales because it biases that. So that was the launching of Financial Mentor, and that's where I am at today.